What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. Hope you are all enjoying your morning thus far. We'll wait for everybody to hop in here on all of our Facebook channels, YouTube. I see all you guys in the chat already. Hello, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Beckoning the Broncos. I want to say episode 5. Is that correct already? We're 5 weeks in. I'm Kim Becker. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. See you guys in the chat saying good morning to each other, having your convos. The loyal Broncos fans that you are, really appreciate it. Michael coming in here already. Good morning, Kim Becker on Beckoning the Broncos. Let's ride and go Broncos now and always. You know the drill, Michael. Good morning, and thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you being here. Oh, June 15th already, you guys. I was just thinking, I was saying offline a little bit, man, we've got so many weeks ahead of us here without some real substance of football to talk about, but we're still going to find things to talk about. We always do. The NFL is such a fun thing that we always worry about the offseason so much, and then it comes around and all of a sudden we're talking about training camp coming up next, right? Diamond coming in here. Boom, let's ride. That's correct. Let's ride is right. The DWI guys, Ethan, good afternoon. Good afternoon across the pond, Ethan. Jeremy, good morning. Good morning. Happy Broncos country. Happy Wednesday. EJ, good morning. Kim, it's always great to see you. And I look forward to Wednesdays to see another great Beckoning the Broncos show. Go Broncos. I appreciate that so much, EJ. I look forward to Wednesdays as well, just being able to interact with you guys and see what's going on in the whole Broncos news cycle, get your guys' takes on things. So I definitely look forward to Wednesdays as well. They come quick, and I'm so happy. They go by quick, too. The weeks are flying by. Like I was just saying, the last day of minicamp for the Denver Broncos is today. But we have 2 days under our belt. The third day. Man, I'm just sad even saying that out loud, that this is the last day of minicamp, and then we're going to be just jumping into training camp here in about 6-7 weeks. I'm sure that you guys, if you saw some of the videos and the media appearances that a lot of the coaches got to do the last couple of days, of course, Coach Hackett, Coach Outen, Coach EJ, love hearing him speak, such a different personality than Coach Hackett in the defensive coordinator of Ejiro Evero, but really loved hearing him speak and just kind of hearing where his head's at, where he thinks the defense is. He thought that they're right where they need to be. He's really excited going into training camp. Again, that was kind of the end of a lot of his answers, was really excited to see what we have in training camp, and just hearing those words out loud just makes you realize how close this next season is. And we're going to be there in Seattle watching Russ take on his former team before we know it. So just incredible how fast time is flying. I know you guys have been staying on that news cycle and really paying attention to what's going on with the new ownership group, and hearing the players that they have a great and crucial relationship with the ownership. I know quarterback Russell Wilson was saying how critical it is for players to have that good relationship with the owners of NFL teams these days, and such a different atmosphere that we're living in, such a different world, right? I mean, it's so great to hear that there's that communication line throughout the players and the ownership and the front office, of course, but it's just great to see how these players really mold into owning the entire football player athlete aspect as their career, their world, their job. We all know that Russell Wilson pours his heart and soul into football. There were quite a few comments from the media just saying, how do you travel so much, Russ? And how do you focus on football? And both him and Nathaniel Hackett backed him up and said, Russ says, no matter where my feet are, if I'm in Dartmouth giving that commencement speech, if I'm on my plane going over to London, supporting Sierra, whatever it may be, he says he's studying film, he's making calls to his teammates, to his coaches. No matter where his feet are, football is still what he's pouring everything into. And I think that was really great to hear. And of course, we all know that, right? Russell Wilson is one of the most locked in players in the NFL that we've probably ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Broncos fan and this is a Broncos channel. I know some of you are probably like, she's always so positive, but I'm serious. This is genuine. And I know it's really genuine coming from Russell Wilson. You can just tell by the way that he speaks how much he cares about the game and how much he cares about what he is doing for his team. So really hearing that he's pouring everything that he's got into football, even when he's traveling, even, when he goes home at night, even when he wakes up. And Nathaniel Hackett said the same thing. He said, he was kind of worried about all of the traveling that Russell was doing when he first heard. He was like, whoa, okay, is that, how are you going to learn the playbook? How are you going to watch film? How are we going to get this offense to where it needs to be? I think his exact words are, how are we going to own the offense when he's traveling so much? And then he was like, the guy is fine. Like, I am not worried about him at all. He's taking every opportunity he can to watch film and to make the calls, even when he's on his plane and even when he's, in a different country. So no worries there, guys. Now they've all got time definitely to travel. It sounds like Russell will be inviting some of his teammates down to Southern California to practice in the off season. So I'm sure we'll see some hints of that on social media. Thank God for social media, right? So we can get the inside look to all that and the behind the scenes stuff. So all good stuff, all positive. I know, we don't want this all to be smoke and mirrors. We hope that the positivity will really translate over to training camp. I think it will. I have seen no warning signs or red flags thus far. It really does seem like these coaches are jiving and that the chemistry is genuine and authentic. And I think we're going to have a great training camp, great off season. And these guys are super locked in, even though we've got about 6-7 weeks before they come back and we see them out there on that training camp field. But again, just want to thank everybody for being in here this morning. Third day of mandatory minicamp coming at us here in a couple of hours. So we'll get some more videos and news coming at it today, but we're just going over the last 2 days and the media appearances from the coaches and the players that got to get up and give us a little 2 cents on the mandatory minicamp thus far. So just wanted to say a little shout out to all of you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Again, happy Wednesday. Can't believe it's Wednesday already, but really appreciate all of you being here. Sounds like, what do we think? Is there going to be, sounds like Russ is a machine with his schedule. Whew, I got tired just reading about it. I know. Jeremy, I also got tired reading about it, but then you hear him. It's funny you say that actually, because as I was listening to him talk about his schedule, in my head, I was like, how does this man also have a family? He has kids. I just cannot even imagine. We know that Sierra has her own dynasty and going on in her life too, and taking care of these kids while he's dedicating all of his time to football and to his family. Of course, the two main things in life for all of us, I assume. But yes, I was exhausted just hearing about that. And in my mind, I literally thought, Jeremy, how does this guy also have a family and take care of the family? I can barely take care of myself. I was eating like spoonfuls of peanut butter for dinner the other night because I don't know how to cook. So it's unbelievable to see this. Thank God my work feeds me. I literally would probably shrivel away. Dale, I think, and I hope I'm right, the positivity will show on the field in the season. I think you're right as well. It's hard not to believe that. I know we're not paid cheerleaders here for the Denver Broncos. Of course, we are all our cheerleaders, but we keep it real. We always have here at Mile High Huddle. I know it's been a brutal couple of seasons keeping it real for the Denver Broncos, but I really do think that this positivity is authentic, and I think it will definitely translate. You hear all the other coaches talk about Nathaniel Hackett's energy, and even EJ was talking about how Kareem Jackson and Hackett have a little chirping going on at practice, and he's like, that's great, let him have it. It's not for everybody. It's not for me, as long as it doesn't affect his job and distract him from the reason why we're really out here. I don't mind it. But seeing the difference of energy between him, Coach Evero, and Coach Hackett, but you need that, right? You need both sides of the spectrum. And I think you still see the positivity out of our defensive coordinator, even though it's a completely different energy. Definitely not a bad energy. We need that energy as well. We need the focus, and we need that kind of level-headed. Not to say the other coaches aren't level-headed, just a different energy there. But very important nonetheless to have both of those sides of the spectrum. So yeah, I agree with you there, Dale. Positivity will show on the field in the season. Also, hope you're doing well, Dale. Still thinking about you. I thought about you multiple times this last week. So hope that you're doing okay. Good morning to everybody else that just popped in here. Welcome to Beckoning the Broncos. I'm Kim Becker. You can see my little handle down there in the corner at Kimberly J. Becker. Please interact with me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be. Happy to chat with you guys about our beloved Denver Broncos. Christian, good morning, Ken. Let's ride. Excited for training camp. I'll be moved to Texas by then. Well, when you put it in terms like that, a big move before training camp starts. That my parents just moved in Denver. Very excited. So now I get to go and see their new house really soon. But I know what a feat that is to move. So especially right now with the market, I hope you're all settled and have a house, though. I hope everything's going to be going well and smoothly for you before training camp starts. That's something to keep you distracted before training camp starts, right? I was sitting here before when we were offline a little bit talking to Scott thinking, what am I going to talk about for the next 6 weeks? But no, we'll find something. But to think of that, having that feat, man, having to move, that'll definitely keep you distracted and keep you busy. And we'll be in Seattle before you know it, huh? Hope everybody else has some fun summer plans. Again, cannot believe it is June 15th. Honestly, feel like it was just April and we were talking about, how the OTAs were about to start, what we were going to see, and all of these different players and the new additions to the roster, the new coaching staff, seeing the culture. And now it's like, holy cow, we're thrusted right into it and we're going full speed here. So really excited to see how training camp goes as well. But again, I just can't believe it's right around the corner. Dale, I do see you popping in here. Just wanted to give you another little shout out. My families and friends, including Broncos country, are helping me get by day after day. Thank you, Kim. Good. I'm so glad, Dale. Please continue to reach out and to just, submerge yourself in that community because we truly do care. Again, thought about you a few times this past week. So really hope you're going all right and you've got your family and friends around. It sounds like you do. And love seeing you guys in the chat also supporting one another. I mean, hey, look at this. A true community glued together by the Denver Broncos. And what better glue to have, right? Again, let's talk about a couple other of the coaches maybe that spoke at training camp. Would love to hear, after minicamp the last couple of days, would love to hear what you guys thought about Dwayne Stukes, the special teams coordinator. I love special teams. I don't know if it's because sometimes not to say that I root for the underdog. I mean, special teams obviously is not an underdog position group, not an underdog unit. We have to have special teams and a good special teams at that. They set up the offense for anything that's about to happen. Literally, special teams will set Russ up for success this year. So a really important unit, but I just feel like they get swept under the rug sometimes. The work that special teams has to put in, and it's a different kind of work. Coach Stukes was talking about the different types of punts, right? Like all the different types of punts. We've got a lefty punter and a righty punter. So it's great for the runners and the returners and the gunners to understand where those punts may land. He was talking about a banana punt. He was talking about a flip-flop punt. I was like, I didn't even know there were that many names for punts. So I really loved reading up on that, reading up on some different kinds of punts and how special teams is so important to the team as a whole and how you really have to practice specific things with special teams. And, a guy can have his whole career on special teams and that can be a make it or break it situation for him. And you've seen players that are so key to special teams and so key to their team thereof because they're so important on special teams. So loved hearing from Coach Stukes. Great guy. Seems like he's got a really, really great outlook on life. He popped in a quote there that he learned from head coach Sean McVay, who just won the Super Bowl, obviously. So some championship mentality right there that's translating over now into Denver. We already had it, but more and more. Love to see it. Coach Stukes said that you see better than I hear. I see better than I hear. That was a quote that he heard from Sean McVay, and that's something that he says that he really just dedicates all of his focus to. I see better than I hear, which is something that probably every coach on the team and every player, honestly, should adopt. Don't talk about it, be about it. Show me. Film speaks a heck of a lot louder than words do. And, we forget that, yes, this is a business. These guys really are. We dedicate so much of our lives to being fans and to seeing what's going on with our teams. But think about every waking moment, which maybe some of you do. Maybe some of you do dedicate every waking moment to the Denver Broncos, which, hey, I appreciate. No judgment there. These guys dedicate every waking moment and honestly probably every moment that they're sleeping too because they're probably dreaming about it. It's the only thing in their mind to this team and to the championship mentality that is building there in Denver. But it's like literally everything that they do, down to what they eat, down to drinking water, watching film. Like it's literally every moment of their life, of their day that they are dedicating to the sport, even in the off season. So it's just incredible to understand that while it's something that we all love and can distract us from our real life, sometimes that's what sports is so good at doing. This is their real life. This is their life. So to see better than I hear, I think is I see better than I hear is a quote that definitely makes sense for every unit on the team, every unit in the organization. EJ, special teams will definitely be much improved this year now that McMahon is gone. Finally, won't be ranked at the bottom of the league. Yes, I agree with you. That was definitely a touchy subject the last couple of years. Our special teams. Whew, I know you all follow Zach Kelberman. He was not a fan of Coach McMahon there. But yes, I do think that this will be much improved. He seems like he's a great guy. He gave a lot of credit to the assistant coaches, however, and that's something that I think is really important too, that I saw a lot of our coaches do. Coach Hackett, both of our coordinators gave so much credit to the assistant coaches and to the coaches in previous, that they were coming in and kind of taking over for, which maybe not McMahon, but yes, definitely going to see some improvement on special teams this year. I think it's very important. I think it's probably one of the most important things to see improvement on right away, right off the bat, because it sets literally every down up after that. And I think that field position is something that we probably also brush under the rug. And again, hand in hand, right? Special teams, field position. There you go for Russell Wilson. I'm sure he's got some great communication with his special teams and kind of just, obviously when we're going into defense too, right? When we're punting, kicking, whatever it may be, but just seeing how they're going to cooperate with the rest of the team and with the coaching staff is going to be something that I'm definitely going to have my eyes on in training camp. So yes, very important there. I totally agree with you guys. I see Peter popping in. So nice to actually have excitement over special teams. It's been a few years since we've had any excitement. Yep, I agree with you. Again, just really enjoying hearing Coach Stukes talk too. Excited to hear more out of him and hear more about what he thinks of individuals on special teams. So totally agree with you there. Yeah, other than McMahon, Parks, Holiday, etc. You're right. It's been a long time since we've had any excitement about special teams or our special teams coach. Okay, so good. I'm glad you guys agree with me here that you're on the same page with me with the excitement of Coach Stukes. Love to see it. Love to hear it. Really appreciate that. Coach Hackett was also talking about his energy and how it matches with the new ownership group. We'll pivot to the ownership group here. Again, I think it's really cool how important the players see the ownership group and the relationship that they have with that group. I think that that's something that we also overlook, because you think, oh, owner, he's just in the front office, the whole group. He's just going to be up there doing all the behind the scenes stuff, the financial stuff, this and that. But to hear Russell Wilson say that they've spoken and he has really good outlook and a really good energy with the Walton Penner group this far, I think that's so cool. I had no idea that relationship was really cultivated in the way that it is these days. I think that, like I said earlier in this episode, that times have changed and the more communication, the better in these organizations. And I think that's going to help the franchise literally from here moving forward into years to come. I think creating that foundation and that relationship with the current roster and the current people in the organization is going to be really huge for the future of the Denver Broncos. So not only a lot of excitement just with that aspect of this season coming forward and the one that's right around the corner, but seasons to come. I think it's going to be really awesome. Is there a punter competition? Could save a couple of million there. True. Definitely could. I think that it's funny you say that because I was actually, when I was listening to Coach Stukes talk, Peter, he was talking about how, we've got a lefty punter to practice with there and a righty, but I was like, why are there not more lefty punters, right, out there? Why are there not any? I hope that there's some kids watching this that are in their teens. If they're left-footed, get out there and learn how to punt because there's probably some awesome slots for that in the NFL because if you've got a punter that can punt with the left foot, you're going to throw off, the special teams unit on the other side there. So I think that that's a pretty good strategy. Of course, they're going to do some film study and find out that you're a lefty, but if you don't have a lefty punter to practice with on other teams, it's not going to be the same. Those kicks are different. So I don't think there's a lot of punter competition for us right now, but that is going to be something that all kids, if we've got some boys out there, maybe even some girls, you never know, a few years down the line, that know how to kick and know how to punt, get out there, start practicing. Coach Stooks did talk about Brandon McManus too, and how he's such a good leader, right? And he's coming in there and helping the punters and the kickers. And so I do think kickers can, some of them can translate over and also punt, and vice versa. Some punters can also kick. So could save a couple of million. You're right on our cap, but hey, I think it's important, like I said, to really make sure that we've got the right guys out there on special teams, and especially right now with the coach that we have and with the difference of special teams this year as opposed to last year. Just going to make sure that we've got all the right guys in the space there. I see some new people jumping in, so welcome. Happy Wednesday. Again, this is Beckoning the Broncos. I'm your host, Kim Becker. Oh, Peter, you're left-footed. You should start punting. Seriously, get out there. If you're looking for a career change, I could see a couple other teams wanting it, but it might not be the Broncos that pick you up if you're okay with that. So maybe go for a team in the NFC so we don't have to see you too much, huh? Maybe we'll just see you in the Super Bowl then. That would be cool. Appreciate you guys popping in here, having the chats. Good morning to everybody. Sorry, I got distracted with the punters again. I was like just really into special teams heading into last night, listening to Stooks talk and reading about the different punts and everything. So I'll go back to Hackett and his energy with the ownership group in just a second. But first, Travis is popping in here. Love it. Good morning, Travis. Welcome. Thank you so much for your support. He says, fans are calling for new uniforms and Broncos emblem along with a new stadium. What do I think about that? I'm so old school, you guys. I'm so old school. I don't like that like everything is just becoming this big flashy thing. I like football. I want to watch football. I don't care about their uniform. I mean, I care, but I don't care about new uniforms. I don't care about this fancy new stadium. I want to watch football and I want to have a good football team. Is that too much to ask? Honestly, if we're going to get new uniforms, let's go back to the old school ones. Give me the D with the Bronco. Give me that old school Denver logo. That is traditional. That is nostalgia. That is what I love to see, and that is what I want to see. So no, I don't want new uniforms. Keep it real. Don't focus on the uniforms. Focus on football. Focus on winning games. That's what I want to see. That said, if they get like a cool new uniform, I'm sure I'll be on board. But no, I want to go back to the old school ones. I like the old school stuff. Stadium, again, I'm from Denver. That's home to me. So Empower Field at Mile High, even saying those words right there is hard enough for me because I want to say, what was it, Inverness or like whatever. I mean, I just like go back to what it used to be. Empower Stadium at Mile High. I'm still so bad at saying that. Empower Field at Mile High. I just can't. So no, I don't want the new stadium. I know we talked about the retractable roof last week too. Mark, amen, Kim. Thank you, Mark. No on the retractable roof. No on the new stadium. Just freaking play football. Thank you for saying that, Peter. I care far more about what's on the field than any new uniform. I do too. And this is not a knock on any of you guys that do want the new uniform in the new stadium because I get it. Like, trust me, I get it. It's cool. And like when you're in it all the time and you get to see it all the time, if you see this new flashy stadium, you're like, look at us. But what I care about the most is what's on the field, the product on the field, the wins that we're going to get, that number at the front of our record, and hopefully the Lombardi trophy that the Denver Broncos will be holding up in the near future. Mark, no question today. Just want to support the show. Thank you both. That's to me and Scott. Mark, thank you so much. Always love seeing you guys out here supporting the show and spending a little bit of time with me on your Wednesday morning. So appreciate you. Tina, right there with you. Just give me football. Stop all drama and extra stuff and let's enjoy good football. Amen, Tina. The drama. And you know, it's their life, right? We don't forget it, but we set that aside. There's a lot of drama that goes on outside of football. It's still their life. They're in the limelight. We see every waking move these guys make. You know, we see every mistake. We see every good move. It's hard. I get it. They have no privacy. Some of these players are so young. We forget that too. A lot of these players, 21, 22 years old. I mean, it's insane. They're kids, right? Some of these new guys. So of course there's going to be drama. Of course there's going to be the extra stuff on the outside of football and on the outside of winning games. But I know right here what we want at Mile High Huddle, what we want in the Denver Broncos country is wins. So New uniforms, fine, whatever. Yeah, it keeps the kids engaged. It keeps everybody on social media engaged. It's probably going to give me something to talk about, so I shouldn't knock it too much because if it happens, I'm going to be like, yay, something new to talk about. But again, I'm just old school. I like the traditional stuff. I like the traditional unis. I think there's something to be said about watching film and watching games from back in the day when, football was just starting 100 years ago. Even watching games from a couple decades ago. I had an NFL Network on the other day, and they were playing a Denver Broncos Patriots game from gosh, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. Tom Brady looked fresh. He looked so young. But I sat there watching it. I was like, this is awesome because it was just like old school. There's not all this flashiness. There's not all this, worrying about their social media following and worrying about their jewelry. And it was just like football. And I love to see that. And I know that we still have that with the Denver Broncos. You hear a lot of our athletes talk, a lot of the players talk after the last 2 days at minicamp, and they really do love the game. And they really say they dedicate every waking moment to the game. Having Russell Wilson in there, someone who's so traditional, even Coach Outen said, Russell Wilson could come in here and say, it's my way or the highway, but he doesn't. And knowing that you have a quarterback that has that stature, that has that authority, that has that earned respect and entitlement, not a bad entitlement, a good entitlement, something that he's spent 20 years gaining, and he can come into a brand new franchise, a brand new city, and just earn that right off the bat with a brand new offensive coordinator says a lot. So I do think the Denver Broncos are focused on football. I think that's the number one thing here in Denver. It will continue to be. Again, I don't want a new stadium at all. If we get it, fine. I don't want it. I think it's in a great location, downtown Denver. Again, I fly into Denver sometimes, or I'm driving through downtown, and I can get excited because I know that I can see Empower Field down there from the plane, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's like the landmark. And now, driving in through I-25 when there's no traffic. Normally there's so much traffic now, but and it's coming up around the corner and you see it. I can picture it right now, just like driving by it as I go around on I-25. So no, not a new one. Let's keep it real. Keep it real, people. Chad, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support and being here this morning. Love Wednesday mornings with all of you. I appreciate you all being here so much. Oh, Chris, that's called getting old, Miss B. You got to move with the times. Why you got to dry me out like that? Come on. I mean, I know, but you don't have to call me out. Yes, you do. Appreciate you, Chris. Appreciate your realness. I'm going to be real with you. You be real with me. Appreciate you. I am getting old. Sadly, the wrinkles on the sides of my eyes have been telling me that for weeks. EJ, hopefully Mr. Walton will upgrade our food at Broncos games. We could definitely bring in more local Denver restaurants to showcase our great food city culture. Okay, this is a topic I'm on board with. If you want to talk about food, you've got your girl right here. Yes, the food game. Enough with the concession stuff. Enough with the crappy concessions. I totally agree with you. The weird chicken fingers, the weird little nacho things with the fake cheese. Yes, let's get some of our local Denver food in there. I know we've got some local Denver brews in there, which I think is super important, but more breweries. Let's get Breckenridge Brewery stuff in there. Let's get some Fat Tires. Let's get all of that in there. The New Belgium stuff. I'm totally with you there. Now, food and drinks is something I could definitely chat about for a while. So totally agree with you there. Our great food city culture in Denver is one of the top. I will swear by that for the rest of my life. One of the top food cities in the world. Denver is one of the top cities for a lot of things. But yes, I totally agree with you there. And I think that's something we can work with. I think maybe my whole outlook on the new stadium, maybe just because it seems so far-fetched right now. I mean, it would be years until it would be completed, right? So I think I'm not concerned about that as much, but we can change food overnight. And I know we've got some new, some members on this new ownership group that just might agree with us there. So definitely a good point there. Gosh, food. Now I just want to go to a game and give my take on food. What would be a really cool job is being a food critic at stadiums. I've always thought that being a food critic, it would just be a really fun job, but maybe we could do them at stadiums and rate them. Maybe this is something I should pitch. I should call Netflix up or something and say, hey, I'll go around to all the stadiums, all 32 stadiums, and rate all of their food and eat it. Would you guys watch that? Do a documentary? like on the Food Network or something. I guess that's not Netflix. I think Netflix would be better. But you know how some people go around and they rate like the different facilities for college football and stuff? I would definitely go pitch it and go to all 32 stadiums and rate all of the food options, the concession options at all of the NFL stadiums. I think I'm onto something there. Hey, Jeremy, I'd be 400 pounds. I'd still work out. I'd still run. Don't worry. Balance, balance. Of course, you gotta keep it. You eat a lot, you work out a lot. It's fine. I'm good with that. I have a lot of balance in my life. It's something I pride myself on. So I would not be 400 pounds. I don't think. Maybe I would. Who cares? If I'm enjoying it, whatever. Okay, guys, I should probably wrap this up. I could go on and on talking about how I'll be 400 pounds if I go to 32 NFL teams and all the food, but I'm not going to anymore. So appreciate you all being here, everybody. This one was really fun. Beckoning the Broncos, episode 5. Gonna have a lot to talk about in the off season. I know in the beginning I was saying maybe I wouldn't, but no, we will. We definitely will. There's going to be a lot of great developments with the new ownership group heading into training camp. So I'm sure that's something we'll be able to talk about. Like I said, thank God for social media to an extent, because we'll be able to see Russell Wilson and a lot of the other guys that he invites down to Southern California to practice, kind of see what happens in the running back room. Excited about that. Excited about a lot of things. So I will see you guys next Wednesday, definitely, for some more Denver Broncos chatter. So in the meantime, enjoy your week. Have a fantastic week. Keep it glued to milehighhuddle.com. As you all know, there is great articles that will be popping up throughout the next all the time. I was going to say throughout the next week. That's just until I see you guys. But all the time, multiple articles a day, making sure that you guys are keeping in the Denver Broncos know. That's our job. Want to make sure that you guys are not late to anything. So make sure that you're keeping it glued to milehighhuddle.com, our YouTube page. Like and subscribe to that. I put several videos up there a week. All of the staff at Mile High Huddle does. It's some fantastic content if you're hungry for Denver Broncos content, which I know you all are, because so am I. And that's why we're here, right? So appreciate you guys so much. Have a fantastic week. I will see you next Wednesday. Thank you for spending some of your Wednesday morning with me. Always appreciate it. Can't wait to see you guys next week already. Have a good one, guys. See you.